I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Music Theory Tuition series where I work with you step by step through the ABRSM Discovering Music Theory grades. I'll work through every single exercise and explain everything you need to know. You can access information about the books I have available to help you on my website. Go to sharonbill.com. For advert-free and longer lessons, you can become a patron at patreon.com/SharonBill. If you can give me a like, that would be super, and please do subscribe to my channel to stay updated. You can support this channel by buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/SharonBill. Let's move on now to page 11 of the Grade 4 Discovering Music Theory workbook. We're looking at the topic of time signatures and rhythms, and here we get a challenge to write our own rhythm using one of the new time signatures. So you can choose any that you like and do go ahead and just write your own. I think I'm going to go for counting in semiquaver beats. I'll go for the compound time signature. That's duple time, so I'll go 6/16. That means we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's good to have a clear idea of what you're going to be writing in so you can kind of make sure you're filling the maths in before we get bogged down with the trying to make a musical rhythm, as it were. And so that's going to be 2 dotted quaver beats per bar. I'm choosing this one because I find it more tricky in these, although it's exactly the same principle. I just think the fact that you've got these semi-quaver, demi-semi-quaver rhythms a little bit more fiddly, so I'm going to use those as a bit of extra practice. So maybe choose one that you find trickier rather than one you find easier, just to really kind of use it as a good revision opportunity. And so, well, we'll start off. We don't want to go crashing into a crazy rhythm, do we? Let's get the music going gently. So we'll have a quaver followed by a semi-quaver. And so that's my first group. And then I could think of starting with just a group of 3 semiquavers. But just to jolly it up, I'm going to make this one a bit longer, so this one must become a bit shorter. And if you want to look at the maths of that, you can diagram it out so that you know half of a semiquaver is a demi-semi, so you're going to need another demi-semi. But remember, if that one's been made longer, that one must be made shorter, and that kind of does the maths for you, doesn't it? So we've got that bar complete now. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3. So that's that. And then let's have quaver, semi, semi-quaver. That's my first group. And then we can start bringing it to a close. Now I could have quaver, semi-quaver. However, yeah, I think that'll do really. And then let's bring it to a close. Now we don't want to fall off the end of a composition by you don't want to fall off the end of the melody or the rhythm by ending on a demi-semi-quaver. So let's bring it to a nice close with a dotted crotchet. There we go. Oh, just hang on one moment, silly me. Here I've just slipped into 6/8 because here we need 6 semiquavers per bar. So if I just add another beam, there we go. So then that means semiquaver, 2 demi-semis make a semiquaver, semiquaver, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go, that's 6/16. I needed, make that straight, shall I? Needed another beam there. There we go. Now in exercise 4, we're going to have to look at sort of the note values and the relationships to different time signatures. So do go ahead and have a go of this just to see if we can make sense of all of the things that we've learned so far. It's best to just test yourself and then learn by your mistakes. So I hope you've had a little go of this, and let's check these through together. So in 6/16, which means 6 semiquavers, 6/16 notes, because we know if I just diagram out just the reason that that's the time signature number, which seems really obvious, but in fact if I go back, instead of diagramming it out, if I go way back to the introduction page, we can see that semiquavers are called 16th notes. That's why the bottom number is 16, because I will diagram it out because I think it just makes more sense. That we know that the whole note divides into two half notes. This is where the more popular terms really help us, which divide into quarter notes. That's why crotchet beats, the bottom number is 4. And then we divide again, so we get 8 quavers. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's why the bottom number is 8. For eighth notes, we've got the eighth of the whole. And if we divide again, we've got 16 semiquavers. And that's why they're the 16th notes, because everything's doubled again. So that's kind of self-explanatory. There are 6 16th notes, 6 semiquavers. And so in each bar, there must be 6 semiquavers, or at least semiquaver beats. We don't want just 6 semiquavers as such, because that would be a dull composition, but it's whatever adds up to that value, 6 semiquaver beats per bar. And so same again here, the answer's right there for us. In 4/8, that's 4 quavers for eighth notes, there are 4 quaver beats per bar. Remember from way back in grade 1, the top number tells you how many beats, the bottom number tells you what type of beat. And the American terms for these notes just gives us our time signatures straight away. And so in 4/2, of course that's 4 minute beats for half notes. If you think of your fractions, there are of course 4 minute beats per bar. And now we get to extrapolate that, and we know that a minim doubles into a crotchet, so there is twice as many crotchets, therefore there must be 8 crotchets. Now it's not quite so obvious in compound time all the time, because sometimes we don't count it necessarily in the bottom number unit. That's only the maths, and then we need to think of, is it duple time? And so 6/4, yes indeed, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 crotchet beats per bar, but we count that, it's duple time, it's 2 groups of 3, it's 2 dotted minim beats per bar. So we just have to extend our thinking a little bit further when we get to these compound time signatures. And then here, the question is, in 9/8, is this duplet 2 in the time of 3 equal to how many quavers? Well, regardless of the time signature, that's neither here nor there. A duplet means 2 in the time of 3, so it's 2 in the time of 3, regardless of the time signature actually. And here a triplet is 3 in the time of 2, so 3 crotchets in the time of 2 crotchets is equal to 1 minim, regardless of the time signature. You know, that's neither here nor there. And then in 9/16, this little group, and again, regardless of the time signature, this little group is always equal to the same amount of dotted quavers. And so we know that 2 semiquavers equals a quaver, and then half as much again gives us the dot. So in this little group of 3 semiquavers is equal to 1 dotted quaver, and we know that 9/16 is triple time. It's got 3 dotted quaver beats per bar. Let's press on. So exercise 5, we now need to complete these sentences by adding the missing words, and we're looking at simple compound duple, triple, quadruple, and so on. So we've got to look at the full picture of each of these time signatures. So 4/8 is quadruple time, yes. However, is it simple time or is it compound time? Well, 4/8 is perhaps the easiest one to remember because it's impossible to do that in compound time because it only works in twos, doesn't it? It's got to be simple time. So 9/16, it is compound time, but how many beats per bar? So 9/16, 1, 2, 3, it's compound time, so we group in threes, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We can see there are 3 groups of 3 semiquavers, and so we can see that it's triple time. 6/4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can see that it's compound time. This is the one we have to be careful of. It's groups of 3, and we can see that there are 2 groups of 3. Therefore, it's duple time, just as 6/8 is duple time. And 6/16, it's compound time. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 semiquavers. It's grouped in threes because it's compound time. There are 2 groups of 3. It's duple time, just as 6/4 and 6/8. We're just changing the unit that we count it in. Now this is the one we need to be careful of, and we did have a little look at this a couple of lessons ago, because although mathematically 6/4 is the same number of crotchets as 3/2, 6/4 is compound time, it's 2 groups of 3, whereas 3/2 is simple time and it's 3 minim beats, 1, 2, 3. However, it is exactly as it says in the 3 minim beats per bar, 1, 2, 3. It's as simple as that, really. We've just got to remember that 6/4 is counted differently because it's compound, but the time signature does that thinking for you in many respects. It's simple time, and we know that there are 3 beats per bar, and so it's simple triple time. And so it's really, really important to be fully aware of what time signature you are using and whether it's simple or compound time. And so we're given an example of something to listen to here, which by all means do go and do. But when you're playing a piece of music, be very, very critical of looking at the time signature, being fully aware of, am I in simple time, am I in compound time, because it will utterly transform the piece by playing it with the correct emphasis. It makes no sense when the emphasis is in the wrong place. As I always say, you have to get the maths right before the music can follow. However, that's the end of page 11. I hope this is helpful to your studies. Please do like and subscribe to stay updated. If you'd like to support this channel, you can buy me a coffee, and for advert-free lessons, you can become a patron. Do visit my website where you'll find many resources available to help you. Visit sharonbill.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.